Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Beauty Pop Podcast. I am Victoria.
And I'm Jen.
And that's Jen.
And
She's on a delay.
Am I? Oh, no.
No. I'm kidding. Oh, I'm kidding. It was a delayed reaction. So, no, but you're not actually on a delay. It's okay.
Look, it's been a long couple of days. So here we are.
We're recording this on a Friday.
Together.
Yes. I know. I sound nasally because I've been sick with some weird virus that wasn't COVID, but I kind of think it still was. But anyway, we tested
negative.
Other
jobs, I haven't won the lottery yet, although I love my other jobs. But it's just been busy, you know? I think people, this time of year, I've noticed, not to jump into just life stuff, but I've noticed this time of year, people really like kick it into high gear because summer's over and then the holidays are coming. And I think you find that like people start to just like crank so that they can like skid for the rest of the year, you know?
And I think people like with back to school and moms and stuff, you know, I'm not a mom, but you know, my mom friends they have like a love-hate relationship with September.
Yep.
Because it's like, well, the kids are back in school, so that's a good thing, but also life just feels busier when it's not the summer and everyone kind of gets back to real life. So yeah,
it's like reality hits us all again.
Yes. So it's been a week. But this is also, just so you guys know who are listening, this is also my once a week catch up with Jen, because I used to get to talk to her every day. And now that we don't do the same radio show, this is my once a week. And so I try to cram in a whole week's worth of things, because normally
catch up on our whole life in like 20 minutes, which is terrible.
I know. And normally we would talk this way about all the stuff that we're sharing on the podcast, but this is
for
the
like
stuff we would talk about
3 hours a day.
We had 3 hours a day during every commercial break. That's what we were doing. So we cram a lot in. Speaking of cramming, we do have a lot to talk about today.
Excuse me. Sorry. Speaking of cramming.
Speaking of cramming content in, did that sound weird and sexual?
It sounded kind of funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'll blame it on me still being sick. I don't know.
There you go.
I'll just sniffle my way through this, and I do apologize. And I apologize in advance to my husband, who is our producer and editor, because if I do sniffle, he has to take out the sniffles in post. So sorry about that. Let's start with, we have a listener comment that you have. And I have a listener question that I think you can probably answer better than I can. So why don't you read the comment from the listener and we'll go from there.
Yeah, this was on our Instagram at Beauty Pop Pod, or you can follow me at Jennifer Horn Radio or at On Air Victoria. And I am Margot Lala. Thank you for your comment. She listened to our episode on our skincare routines, our evening routines, basically. And she says that she doesn't use face wash anymore because it was so drying. So she says, I've stopped using face wash for years now. I use those makeup removing towels that clean with water only, then wash the towel. Then I apply an organic toner. I can wipe with a cotton ball if needed to clean more, and a very simple face cream that has only a few ingredients. Both are from Whole Foods. I avoid having my face under the water when I shower because it makes it very irritated and red for some reason. Then about every couple of weeks, sometimes more often, I do a face scrub and hydrating face mask. Always the same product so I don't break out. My skin is so much better now. So thanks for sharing that. And by the way, I love it. If you want to contribute your routine or whatever, we're talking about your favorite products.
Absolutely.
I love to hear it. And I'm so curious about those towels that don't require any face washer or soap. Have you seen them?
I've heard of them. I haven't used them because I have like a
one
million
for eye
different
makeup.
cleansers.
Which I feel like it would be that to get all my eye makeup off, I think would be rough because I'm a little heavy handed with the eye makeup. But now that she said she uses it and that it works for her, I might try it. I like that idea.
I love that. And actually, that's reminding me, when we were talking about our nighttime skin routines, I had said that I do something different every night and that I wasn't really sure if that was like a good thing. Well, it turns out that's a thing. It's called skin cycling. And I just read it. I had no idea, because like I read all these beauty blogs and, you know, all newsletters and all kinds of stuff. And so it was a thing about, I want to say it was maybe from like Prevention magazine, which has a lot of good like health stuff. And it was like dermatologists are loving this trend called skin cycling. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll read what it is. Well, it's basically what I do. It's just one night
it up.
One night you exfoliate. One night the next night you just do a moisture bomb, which is like what I call it my Augustinus Botter bomb of moisture. The next night you do a glycolic or like some sort of an acid exfoliator. The next, one, and then the next night you do a retinol treatment. I mean, it's literally what I've been doing. So I kind of feel like maybe I should stick to what I've been doing. Because I don't have any, my skin hasn't gotten worse. It's definitely gotten a lot better.
And it's fun. You don't get bored.
Yeah. And I mean, if dermatologists are all down with it, then why not? But I do think that the thing for me, having very dry and very sensitive skin, finding a good face wash is important, obviously.
I know.
And the JLo Beauty is the one that I endorse the most. It does not strip any moisture, but it gets rid of all your makeup in one wash. Because normally I do a double cleanse, but with the JLo, I've gotten away with one cleanse, makeup and all. So not waterproof mascara, obviously. And we're going to talk about mascara later. But water is very, very drying. And especially if you're using tap water. So like
it sounds
wherever
funny,
you
but
are
it's
in the
true.
country, you're in California. I'm outside of New York City in New Jersey. Jersey water is horrific. California water, how is California water? Is it soft or is it hard or?
It's hard water for sure.
Which is very drying.
It's drying, very drying. But I think as far as quality goes, the water in LA is not so bad. Yeah. I don't know. I don't drink the tap water. I use it on my face. It is really drying, but everything dries my face out because that's just my skin. So
yeah. So the water in Jersey is really, really bad. Like I would call it toxic. There are cancer clusters. A Civil Action, that movie was all based on the water 20 minutes away from me. Super cool. Erin Brockovich probably won't even set foot in Jersey anymore. It's really bad water. So I have a filter. We don't drink any tap water. The dogs don't drink tap water. It's really bad. And so I have a shower filter that has totally helped. Like my skin was really dry when we moved out of Manhattan, which by the way, I used to think it was like a myth that New York City had like the best drinking water. It really is. Like I've tested it with my little digital meter. It is literally some of the highest ranked water in the country. And it's great on your skin and your hair and everything. So moving down to Jersey, I had brassy highlights because there's so much, metal content in the water. It was harsh. So when listener Margot was talking about, even in the shower, it's rough. You're right. Keep your face away, especially when you add heat to it. I wash my face in like cold water basically. And that's
Me too.
Because everything else is just, it's way too irritating.
The only time I'll use heat really is if I steam. Sometimes I'll do like a steaming treatment basically to open things up a little bit, like they do when you get a facial. That's about it. Everything else, I don't know. I don't use super hot water in my face at all.
No, it's really not good. I mean, every dermatologist has always told me and I think we talked about this once, even when getting a facial, I tell them no steam. Because it's very irritating. But that's great. Thank you for sharing, Margot. Thank you for sharing your nighttime routine. And if you do hear this and follow up, let us know what brand of the towelettes that you're using. Because
I know,
if
I'm
that's
really curious.
working, I would definitely check that out. We have another listener question.
Okay.
Long-time listener of Beauty Pop.
First time,
Dominique.
long time, as they say in radio.
Yep. Long-time listener, loyal fan of the pod is my friend Dominique. And she has her question, which I think you can answer because you're the eye makeup queen. She said, what are your tips and tricks to keep your eye makeup from migrating down below her eyes? Because she said no matter what she does or tries, it all ends up below her eyes. I don't have this problem. I've never had this problem, but I know a lot of women have this issue.
Is she talking about during the day or as she's applying it?
I think once it's on.
As the day goes on.
As the day goes on or the evening.
See, I struggle with this too. And I wish I had a really great answer because when it's awful, COVID made us all terribly aware of some of our gross and terrible habits. Like I touch my face way too much. I don't mean to, constantly in this eye area. And I'll be like, oh, I think if you start with products that don't crumble and that stay on, you're going to be in better shape. I think it's really hard to avoid, especially if you're working throughout the day, if you touch your face a lot, if you're in humidity. I think sometimes some smear is just inevitable and you've just got to keep checking it out to make sure you don't look like a scary clown. But There are some really good products that I like, and I also like to apply with a brush. I don't know how she's applying her eye makeup, but if you use a tighter brush, I don't even know what the name is, but we can link some maybe to this podcast. I'll find it. If you use a short and tight eyeshadow brush, I find that packs the color in a lot more so that it doesn't come loose and kind of sprinkle down your face throughout the day. Also, the mascaras I'm going to talk about today are two that do not smear. And I'm so happy about it because my mascara constantly was smearing, and these two are really good. I also really like the Urban Decay primer, and that can help kind of give a sticky base for it to hold on to. I don't use eyeshadow primer all the time. I use it primarily if I'm going to a nicer event or if I've got something where I'm going to be on a stage, but I always put my foundation on my eyelid. So as I'm applying foundation, I always add that to my eyelid just so it has a little something else to stick to. And
I never knew, and it's funny because I always call you the eye makeup queen. I never knew if that was correct or not.
Yeah.
Because I always, when I put my foundation on, I always do my whole eyelid. Yep. And I've just always done it, never really knowing if that was helpful or not. But maybe that is one of the reasons why I don't think I've ever had an issue with eye makeup, migrating. So
yeah,
maybe...
mine doesn't migrate as much as I migrate it with my hand. And so that's why, it's just constantly
even blinking a lot.
touching.
People don't realize how much you blink, and blinking can really move stuff around too.
And I've been using my glasses more when I'm on the computer and then just on and off. The last thing, I like the Urban Decay primer because Urban Decay has those really chunky eyeshadows, and so their primer is like glue. So if you use it, it actually sticks. I do like the base makeup on the the base as well. But also my last step, and this is a lot, I don't know that a lot of people do this. My last step before I leave is to take some concealer and put it just underneath my eye. One more round of concealer right under my eye. I use a wet, small beauty sponge to just kind of tap it in. And that seems to help kind of keep everything sort of in place in and around the eyelid. So maybe those tips will help. I hope that they do. I know it's a problem, and especially everybody's got different kind of skin, weather conditions in their office, and habits. So hopefully that helps.
Absolutely. And the answer that I gave her was from the makeup artist that I used in LA at the Gracie Awards this spring. She had said not to use any eye makeup or eye cream underneath or anywhere on my eye.
Keep it dry.
So I just used my regular moisturizer, and then she did the foundation and everything. But she used an eye primer, and it was from Milk Makeup.
That's
which
a
is
good
also
one too.
Yeah, and it's called Grip It. And it's just specifically for the eye makeup. And then I also use the Milk primer called Grip It as well, all over my face. It's a different formula. But I never even, until she told me about using an eye primer, I'd never even thought that was a product that existed that I ever needed. But it definitely helped. And then, when we talked about that in episode 1, you and I were together until like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning that night. And my makeup didn't move at all. Then I slept in it. Which everyone, apparently I'm like, I guess, because Dominique said to me, she was like, I can't believe that you sleep in your makeup as much as you do. I'm like, well, I don't wear makeup that often. It's like maybe once a week.
So
maybe
it's not part of your routine.
Much. It's not part of my routine. But when I do wear makeup, it's on a Friday night or a Saturday night if we're going out.
So ain't no one taking their makeup off before that.
No.
Going to bed.
So, but yeah, and that primer from Milk and Urban Decay makes great products. I've always liked Urban Decay.
Well, it sounds so 90s, but it is that their products, because their eyeshadow is so theatrical. I found that the very best primer I've ever used is from Urban Decay because it can hold on to all that chunky glitter, all the metallics, everything. So it's a good brand to try because if it can hold that, it can hold your regular eye makeup.
That is true. Now, moving on to mascara, you have two. Which ones are you loving that don't smear? Because that's obviously a big problem for a lot of people.
I have hunted. I have had no brand loyalty when it's come to when it comes to mascara. I have been all over the map. I have paid $5 and I've paid $55. Everything from Chanel, everything to the Maybelline pink and green. I mean, I've been all over the map because I'm
pink and
constantly.
Green,
I'm looking for the perfect mascara because I love the look of false lashes. I am scared because of something you told me to get, the permanent lash extensions, because you told me they kind of crimp around, especially if you don't sleep on your back. Yeah. So I've never
that was a big mistake that I made huge. And actually,
Didn't do
speaking
it.
of my friend Dominique, she did it too. And she was like, this is so much maintenance that she ended up having them removed because you have to, it was a lot.
Yeah, you have to get them
some people
filled
are
and
into it. You know, if you sleep in
Too
corpse
long.
pose every night, then it's fine. But if
Right.
you're like a normal person, you know, I found them difficult to even shower with, you know, because
Yeah,
like
see.
when they get wet and, you know, it was a lot. But
I
I
love how they look.
Lots of lashes though. Yeah.
Me too. And so I love how they look. But I decided not to do it after your recommendation. So I've never tried those. I will wear false eyelashes, but usually because I'm in a hurry in the morning and I've got a limited amount of time, I'm not wearing them every single day. I have a friend who will actually put in those little individual lashes, and she says they stay on her for like 2 weeks. Now, that's not me, again, because I'm wearing eye makeup
like the
every
little
day.
clusters where it's like
Yes.
little 3 lashes at a time.
She says-
I've used them before because they're easy to apply and you can be really specific like where you want them. So I do love that, but that's a long and involved process. It's not like a quick thing.
And I don't think I could let them stay on for 2 weeks like she does. I feel like that would drive me insane.
The glue? Oh my God, I'd be itching like crazy. Yeah.
I know. So I will use the full false lashes when I'm doing something special occasion, night out, something like that. But during the week, I just want my lashes to look good and I want them to stay. I don't want them to come off or, migrate, as we've talked about, down your face. So I've tried a lot of products. So the first one I'll tell you about is the more expensive one. And even that's not too bad. And it was actually a recommendation. My cousin does my hair. She's my stylist. And I was looking at her one day because she was up in my business, as you can imagine. And so I looked and I'm like, Steph, what are you using on your eyelashes? I said, are you putting on false eyelashes every day? And she's like, no, it's Lancome Hypnose. Hypnose, is that how we say it?
Yes.
And so I was like, no way. I'm like, that's really Lancome? She's like, yeah. So
Hypnose Drama, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That
Pick
used
up
to be
a
my
bottle.
go-to. That is good stuff.
It's great. And I even got the white base because they also sell a base. So you can do that. I find that it doesn't really help that much. So I
fell victim
base.
I did the base too once and I was like, this is just a weird cluster of clumps.
I think it makes it too clumpy.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it. I like really voluminous lashes, but I also like them to be individual. I don't like that whole, nobody likes the clumpy look. So I really find that Lancome was kind of my go-to. And then I started using it all the time. $29. I find that it lifts your lashes, a lot of volume, and it's buildable, which I like. So if you just want to do a quick, coat of mascara and go out for the weekend, great. If you want to get more drama, you can use multiple coats. It doesn't clump and you look more dramatic. And then I was influenced. We did an episode about being influenced. This girl I follow on Instagram is talking about this Essence Lash Princess mascara. I think, Victoria, it could possibly be my favorite makeup buy ever.
Wow.
It's $4.99. You can buy it at Target. You can buy it at Amazon. You can buy it in the drugstore or at Ulta. I mean, it's everywhere. And it's called Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. It's gluten-free in case you want to eat it. It's cruelty-free in case... That's important to you.
You know what? That's really interesting. Cruelty-free at that price point is not always easy.
It's
not always easy to find. Okay, that's great.
For $5, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try it. I was influenced. Her lashes looked great, but let's just see. And she said it was an unpaid post. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. I used it one time and I have not gone back. I buy multiple containers of this. I keep them in my desk. I have them everywhere. They really do last all day. If you reapply once per day, you are golden. However, it gives you volume. It gives you length. There is no clumping. It's the perfect brush. It's the perfect shape to hold in your hand.
I'm excited about this. I need to try this.
$5 and it only comes in black. And some people I saw were complaining online that they don't have it in brown. I don't care. I'm blonde. I still want black, dark lashes. So if that's people's only complaint that they don't have, diversity in color, I don't care. Give me the black. It's my very favorite
understood
product.
Who would want brown mascara.
I think
don't
some
get that.
blondes feel like they want like a more natural look, but the reason I'm wearing mascara is to not look natural. If I want a natural look, I'll just get out of bed and go someplace.
Excellent point.
Let's not be all virtuous and clutching our pearls about the brown mascara.
Right,
please.
right, exactly.
So I highly like 5 stars, 6 out of 5. I mean, it's a great product. I really like it a lot.
Wow, that's wild. So here's my question though. Do they make a waterproof version?
No,
or
I
is
think
it waterproof?
They might have waterproof. It's not marked. I don't really know. I hate waterproof only because whatever makes it waterproof irritates my eyes. And so that's not a go-to must-have thing for me. The
reason I ask is because I have to wear waterproof because my lashes don't hold a curl without it.
Oh,
my
that's
lashes,
interesting.
I have had them professionally curled, where like it's like a mini perm. That was a disaster. That was, when I tell you what a fucking nightmare that was, they looked great when I walked out of the salon. They grew in, like crimped, and it was the longest process to get them back to normal. So I'm never doing that again. And I literally did it just because everyone was doing it. Everyone's like, oh, you have to go get your lashes like curled and it lasts like 6 weeks or whatever.
I remember when you told me that, didn't I laugh? I'm like, do they put a little tiny roller in there? And you're like,
yes.
Yeah.
And it even, and the funny thing is, like, if you ever had a perm when you were younger, it's the same smell. You remember that perm smell?
Perm solution.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So that was a disaster. But that's how much this has been an issue for me. My lashes.
They have waterproof. I just checked, by the way.
Excellent.
They have a waterproof
Thank
version.
you. Mm-hmm. So a makeup tip that I got from one of the beauty blogs that I have read forever, maybe In Style. Years ago, I could not keep. I lash curl, I would curl the lashes, put the mascara on. I've tried Hypnose Drama, the one from Lancome that you mentioned, is a great mascara. That was my go-to for 10 years, maybe even.
Yeah.
A long time. Because there was something before that. I think it was the Definicil was the first.
I know that one.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Hypnose came out, and then Hypnose Drama. And I followed the progression.
The drama was the best.
Drama's the best, yeah. And I used the waterproof version of Drama, and that worked great. So I read in this beauty blog that if your lashes are not holding a curl, which mine would not, I'd end up putting the mascara on, letting it dry, and then curling them again. Which, if you've ever tried to do that, it rips your lashes right out.
Hurts.
It's really painful. But that was the only way I could keep any curl. They just fall flat completely. So they said in this article, you're just going to have to use waterproof mascara. And the reason for that, it's not necessarily that I have an issue with like crying or tearing or moisture or anything like that. It's that waterproof mascara dries like 10 times faster than regular. So it doesn't, it dries before your lashes can fall flat. So that's really the reason.
Cool. That's a good tip.
Yeah. So that's the real reason. I don't like waterproof mascara. It's a pain in the ass to take off. It's very drying for your lashes. It's not great. But again, it's the only thing I can do if I don't want to have straight, flat-looking lashes. But I'm very happy that your pick comes in waterproof because that's gonna be clutch. I'll share what I'm using. When I moved on from Hypnose Drama, I stayed in Lancome. By the way, I agree with you. I've tried Chanel. I have tried the Dior Show. Mascara that everybody raves about. Hated it.
I did too. I hated it. I have a full container still in my makeup bag because I thought,
and that's like a $60 mascara.
Yeah,
that's an expensive
joke.
Mascara, and I got nothing out of it. I've tried every brand: MAC, NARS, Laura Mercier. You name it, I've tried it. So I end up always going back to the Lancome family. Which, by the way, you and I have sensitive skin and sensitive eyes. Lancome has always been amazing for sensitive eyes. Like I've used that little blue liquid bottle of the sensitive formula. I like eye that makeup stuff. Remover.
Yeah.
It's my go-to. I've used it since I was in high school. So I stayed in the Lancome family when Monsieur Big came along.
I've tried it and I like it.
This is a good one.
It. Yeah, it's a good one.
Lancome nails it. This is like with one. I don't even do 2 coats because it is big, voluminous lashes. And I, again, use the waterproof, but I have turned some girlfriends on to the non-waterproof version. It's a pink label versus blue for waterproof. And the pink one, everyone loves too. They're like, wow, this is a volume like blast. It's incredible. So I'm with you totally on the Lancome thing. Do you use the same mascara on your upper and lowers?
Yes.
Okay. I don't, because I don't like waterproof on the bottom, because it's extra hard and a lot more rubbing, to remove.
To get it out, yeah.
And I don't have like a crazy blinking issue, so I don't really have migration issues. But I do tend to be really cheap when it comes to whatever I use on the bottom. And I tend to just really focus on what the brush looks like, because that's, to me, the most important thing is the brush for the lower lashes.
What do you like
Clinique,
for that? The downstairs.
Yeah, for downstairs, Clinique did make, and I don't know if they still do, but they did make a mascara that was just a lower lash mascara. And I have a weird feeling that I was the only person who bought it, because
I've never even heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it discontinued because it was just me. But but the little tiny brush was really great for getting in, and just you want a little bit of definition on like the lower lashes.
Sure.
So my current one that I'm using that I really like is, I got it at Target, and it is by Winky Lux, that brand.
I do.
It's called So Extra, and it's velvet plush mascara, so it doesn't have like a shine to it. It's more of a matte kind of look, which is really good for the lower lashes, because it really gives more definition and just kind of lets you know that like you have a row of lower lashes,
right?
Like mine kind of disappear. And so I have found that this is a really great, and I don't even remember how much it was. I want to say it was under $10.
I love it.
I mean, Winky Lux makes a lot of really good stuff. And when they started, they've probably been at Target for a while and I just didn't notice, but I've been noticing in my local Target, they've built up a lot of the cosmetic area more.
It's like an Ulta in there now. In fact, it is Ulta. I think that they brought into my local Target.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
so
we don't
have an
Ulta
official. Yeah, see, that makes sense, because Sephora's were inside J.C. Penney's and Kohl's, so it makes sense that someone would want to be, that Ulta might want to, get some real estate. But so I found this on the display. Like, I walked in, I go, oh, they have Winky Lux. They actually have Winky Lux false lashes that are supposed to be really good. I've heard excellent reviews. I've never tried them because I've only had a professional makeup artist, put lashes on me recently. But their Winky Lux lashes are really good. If you're a Housewives fan, I know you don't watch Housewives, but the former housewife of New York, Tinsley Mortimer, who was sort of a socialite about town, she is famous for her false lashes. She's like JWoww with the lashes,
Wow.
She's like it's, yeah. But she did a collaboration with Winky Lux, and I think it might even still be a thing, and it got really good reviews. So if you are looking to
I can't wait to try it. I've had chat like lip balm from Winky Lux that I really, really like, and they're very cute. The packaging's great. So,
I have like a little mini one that I got in maybe like the Allure beauty box. It looks like a miniature lipstick tube, but it's just a lip balm, and it's really nice.
I know the one that I got was like rainbow. It's really cute. It's like rainbow, really cute packaging, tastes good, nice formula. Yeah. And it doesn't come up as like a color, but it's cute. It's pretty. It makes you happy when you look at it.
Yes, that's true. And they're small, it looks like a little, like a little bullet. Yeah. So they're really small. They're easy to, pop in your purse or whatever. But I cannot wait. What is the name of that? Essence is the brand?
Yeah. So it's Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara.
That is the wordiest title.
It's more, you pay 50 cents for every word of that title.
That is like the longest title ever.
I know. I had to write it down. I knew it was Essence Lash Princess, but I'm like, I better write this all down. False Lash Effect Mascara. It's really great. I'm excited to try the Winky Lux too, because I've never tried a separate formula for my bottom lashes. So now you're making me think that I'm missing out on something.
Well, the reason that I liked it, because they had the sample and, or like the little tester one, and I'm small. Showing you on our screen. Yeah, it's a really small brush. Yeah. So it's because if I've used like the Miss You Are Big, right? It's a huge, thick brush. If you tried to put this on your bottom lashes, it's going to be halfway down to your cheeks. Like you're going to, it's everywhere. So the brush is really important for the lower lash line. But yeah, and again, under $10, for the lower lashes, like they don't need special treatment. They just need to show up. They just need to be there.
I think with mascara, I mean, there's a lot to be said about, yes, you can find some good bargain skincare. You can find bargain foundation and stuff like that. But traditionally, you're going to get what you pay for when it comes to those things. I think with mascara, it's so funny because it is really all over the place. You can find great mascaras that are under $10 and you can find great mascaras that are over $40. But what's going to be more important to you? What are you looking for? Do you want volume? Do you want length? I don't know if you remember when I was thinking about our episode today. When I was a little girl, and this is so 80s, I'm dating myself. There was a purple tube, and I've got to Google it and see what it was. It was a purple tube of mascara. It was wider at the base. It almost looked like a vase, I guess. And the bottom had like a dial, and it had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you remember that? And you turned up the dial to where you wanted it to be with the intensity of the mascara. So
intensity
80s.
Meaning like the color intensity,
like
or how much product came out?
How much would come out of it, or how long you wanted your lashes. So of course I can't imagine anybody would have ever left it like on 1. All these women are cranking it up to 8, but it made you feel very in control. And it was obviously just some kind of packaging gimmick thing. But how it worked. I mean, I must have been 4 years old when it came out. And I remember looking at it and touching it. My mom had it. And can I spin it up? What number do you want, Mom? And it was just, it's one of those things that's just it's stuck in my mind my entire life. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it.
To get to that.
And it's a lot of stuff that we remember. Yeah, a lot of stuff that I remember, like that was in my mom's bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, like the St. Ives apricot scrub.
Oh, I love it.
Ruined
rips your face apart.
complexion.
But the smell, it was nice. It
smelled like you just wanted to eat it. And I think the reason it was so harsh, didn't it actually have like walnut shells?
Oh, yeah. No, it was a nut. You were actually rubbing nut shells on your face.
We've come a long way. We've come a long way.
Can you imagine? They're like, gosh, this dry skin's really building up. I'm just going to crack a walnut and just rub it along my cheekbones.
It's crazy. I know.
It was intense, that scrub. I also, and it's still out there, and I still love it. Every once in a while, I'll pick up a tube, and then eventually I lose it or toss it away. But the Clinique Black Honey. My mom used to use the Black Honey lipstick from Clinique all the time. Oh my gosh, it's like iconic from Clinique. And they just relaunched it probably 3 or 4 years ago and now they have Almost Honey, which is like their lighter version of it. It's it looks like it's black or dark brown, very chestnutty color in the tube. But when you put it on, it's like this beautiful kind of burgundy red.
Oh, wow.
Really nice. Yeah.
Do you remember, speaking of Clinique, because my mom has very sensitive skin, so she is still to this day very much into Clinique stuff.
Yeah.
And the Ulta that's near me, like the front half of the store is all Clinique. So
they still have a lot of products.
Right? They do. Do you remember the green soap dish? It would slide open and then the bar of soap was green. In it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I do.
I think my mom still uses that soap.
Isn't that, does it still have the cool the container?
Yeah. I think it still has the thing where it like slides open.
Love it. That is
like
because my mom used Clinique too. She had this like kind of peachy apricot blush. And the other brand, do you remember Prescriptives?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Prescriptives.
I think that still exists, right?
Does it really? I thought it went out.
So.
That was like the jam where you had to take like quizzes and stuff to get your perfect shade. And then you were always ticked off because you're like, well, I like, that better. Or
you know what? You know what? Prescriptives, I think, was bought by Origins. I could be making this up, but I feel like I'm not. And there was either some sort of a merger of the products or Origins absorbed all of Prescriptives.
Estee Lauder has it now.
Okay.
Parent organization, Estee Lauder, it says.
Yeah. Everything is owned by a big conglomerate at this point.
I know. It's a bummer. But gosh, that Prescriptives, high school Jen, it was the jam. Like it was, everybody loved it. It was like that. And there was also a clothing company. Look, we're like reminiscing now, called Units. Do you remember Units? Was that a East Coast thing?
That's not.
We should. This is actually a topic for another episode.
I know.
We got to do it.
You know what? You know what? Actually, I love that idea. Let's do nostalgic beauty. Like,
definitely.
Let's do a whole. We'll get everybody on Instagram to chime in on what their nostalgic beauty product is that they remember. Yeah,
as
let's
a kid or their
do
mom's
that.
makeup bag. Units,
totally.
Just to finish that up, was a clothing line, and everything was in kind of like jersey, basically like jersey cotton. And they had like skirts and dress. Everything was in like these big, bright, bold colors, but everything was meant to match. So that's why they would call it units. So you could get a top that would always, like, every top would match every bottom in the store.
We should do a whole episode on like what was in the mall, because malls don't exist anymore.
I know. It is sad when you walk through the mall and you're like, you like feel some hope when you see a Bath and Body Works and a Victoria's Secret, it's
clinging for dear life.
I know. Please don't shut us down.
They are clinging. Like the people working there, just every time someone walks by, they just
please
look
buy
desperate.
something.
Like, please come in. Please come in. My check needs to get cash. Please. It has to clear.
It's so depressing because that was my weekend. I mean, that was in high school. That's where I was. You could find your typical San Fernando Valley girl. That's where we always were, was at the mall.
That's so funny.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a graveyard in there. But you have nail questions.
Yes. I have one nail question before we wrap it up for this week. So my nails are at like historically low moment.
Lows.
Yeah, historic lows. These are unprecedented times. All the
Do you
buzzwords.
need a bill? Should we pass a bill to help you?
I need a referendum. Yeah. They are just really damaged, really dry, really bad. And so because I'm in my current work situation, I don't have to be on a keyboard as much as I used to.
Yep.
So that was the only thing that ever prevented me from having longer nails. I really hate typing on a keyboard with long nails. Drives me nuts. And it slows me down. But now I'm actually thinking that I might make my first foray into the world of professional fake nails. I mean, I've popped on, what are they? The Impress, which I love. And they can last like a week and they look great. But I want to do like real salon ones, but I have no idea where to begin. Okay. And so you were my first text. Like, where do I begin?
You do know, first of all, that none of this is going to help your nails get any better or stronger, right? You can acknowledge that before we start this conversation.
I am suspicious of that. Yes.
Nothing's going to make your nails get better or stronger. And look, I'm telling you this as someone who has just been going through what you went through, because I've been wearing gel. Like during the pandemic, my gel was off. My nails were actually pretty healthy. But my nails break a lot. They're like the rest of me, dry and brittle, I think. Which is just a sad statement of affairs, but they are. And so I'm like, oh gosh. And I put gel on all the time. And then what happens is that the gel comes off and then I start picking it off, and it's a horrific cycle.
I'm in this position now because, truthfully, because I did back to back to back to back gel manicures for months. Like I went from April through probably the beginning of September.
Oh yeah, girl, that's
with no break. I mean, no break. Now my nails are just like rebelling.
Since COVID sort of wrapped, I've been in gel for like well over a year. But, and I don't even give myself any breaks. And so I went to the nail salon and I was like, my nails are so weak. They keep breaking even with gel. And so she told me, so if you have some time, I guess this is the question. If you want immediate results, I can help you. Or if you want to invest some time and make it a little better for your nails, this is what I would recommend. This is what I have on my nails right now. And I've got some length to my nails. Have you tried BioGel ever?
No, but I've heard you mention that. I've heard you say that's really good.
Absolutely a game changer. So BioGel takes your regular natural nails, no plastic tips, no fake tips, which I enjoy because I like having fake nails every once in a while, but they feel like they're just like germ magnets for me. And so I get kind of like, after a while,
that's
I get weirded
the thing.
out.
I get weirded out when I see, and this happens all the time on Instagram, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but like, when I follow people, like I follow Chrissy Teigen because I like a lot of her like recipes and stuff, and her cooking with long nails
Also, let's be honest.
And Kylie Jenner holding a baby with those gigantic claws, like, no.
Too long, too pointy. How do you clean yourself up?
They're weapons. They're just weapons. Yeah. So I'm not doing that. I would want to do a little more length with a rounded tip because I don't like long and square. Short and square.
Okay, so short and square you like, long and square, unless you do coffin, you could do coffin where it like evens out. So you would want to do something rounded. But forget the shape for a second. So if you do BioGel is on top of your regular nails. It's a hard gel. So your nails as they are, hard
and it's
gel.
Clear. So it's just a clear gel. Okay.
And they cure it with the UV light, and then you pick whatever color gel and they put gel over it. And if you do that, and it lasts so much longer than regular gel, like 3 to 4 weeks. like that long.
Wow.
You don't have to leave it on that long. If you want, I would say go every 2 or 3 weeks just at the beginning. And I'm telling you, within a month, your nails will have grown out and they will be your natural nails. And then you just continue with the biogel and the gel. That's what I've been doing. If you have someone who knows how to do biogel, and then you can do whatever shape you want. If you have someone who really knows how to do biogel, they don't get too thick either, which is one of my pet peeves where they look fake.
Yes.
And it costs a little bit more, but it's your own nail. And if you have like a month to commit to this, it's your own nail.
Yeah, I definitely do. Because they're just awful right now.
That's number one. So definitely ask for biogel, and then you just pick your gel polish on top of it. If you want to get length right now, I'm not an acrylic nail fan. Never have been. I think they're damaging. I think it's hard to take off. They're just, ugh. But
I've heard wraps and dips. Now, I don't know what either of that means, but I've heard wraps and dips.
I did gel tips. And I highly recommend, if you're going to want length right now, to do the gel tip. And basically, it's a tip that they glue on, and then they put this gel coating over it, and then regular gel, and you've got length right away. So gel tips, I think, are a really good alternative. I feel like they're just not quite as thick and bulky.
It doesn't cover your whole nail, right? So that's actually good, so that oxygen can still get to the nail bed.
You're still going to have a layer of gel on there, but I think it still feels healthier to me. It may not be, but it still feels better to me than the acrylic. Now, the other thing, when I went back to
I don't know what
Colorado,
the dip means. I don't know what the dip
That's powder.
Means.
So dip is, instead of painting on a color, it's a little jar of powder. And they put a clear coat on your nail, and then they dip your nail into the powder, and then they dip it again, and then they brush it off. And then they put more clear stuff, and they dip it again and dip it again. And so the color builds up, basically, and it's powder that turns into a color. I had it on I went to a new nail salon in Colorado because I really needed my nails done before my grandfather's funeral. And the lady there was just like, you need this, you need that, you need this, get dip, And so I tried dip for the first time. It lasted like a month.
So this was dip on your natural nails?
On my natural nails, and my nails really grew, and I liked it. I don't think I would do it every time, only because you really have to have someone who can shape it all together. And I felt like mine started to look kind of like, I don't know, they just weren't shaped right at the end. And so that may have been the salon I was in Colorado.
Do they have to like file it with that little roller metal thing? Because I've seen women getting that done in the salon,
that's to
but
take
I never
off.
know what
That's
that
going to
is.
be to take off the polish. It's going to be taking off the biogel. It'll be taking off the dip. That files things down. They could shape with that, but the lady I went to just shaped with the file. It's just, it kind of just wasn't very even. And so I think that's probably the risk with dip is you better
have someone who really knows. Yeah. That sounds like that's kind of a highly skilled thing.
But
like,
if you want to grow
when you
your
see
own
on Instagram, like real nail artists,
totally.
Okay. So that's a good tip.
If you want to grow your own, I would say start with biogel. If not, do the gel tips. I think that's where I would start, and then see what you think about those two. But I think you have the time, and it really doesn't take that long if your nails aren't breaking, and the biogel gives it lots of strength. So I'd start there.
The one thing I did do last night, in knowing that we were going to talk a little bit about nails, I did Google like acrylic nails 101 because like I knew nothing, so I wanted to see what came up. And pretty much one of the first things that popped up was an article from Cosmo magazine saying essentially like, don't get acrylic nails before.
You don't need to.
Read this before you get acrylic nails. And it was like a whole long list of why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
and you don't need
I like
them
the
anymore.
idea of the tips. Yeah.
Plus, most of the time with gel or with biogel, it's supposed to be soak off, and many times they just get lazy. They don't want to wait, so they file a lot of it off. But with the acrylics, there is no soaking off. I mean, you actually have to, grind it off, which is not good.
That doesn't sound good. No. And one last little tip that I'll give on the nail thing, because my nails had gotten, at the point now that they're at, and you're right, when you go to a nail salon and you're supposed to sit there and soak, in to get the gel manicure off, they never wait long enough, and then they just dig and scrape and everything. So what I did was I got and I'll post what it is. I got it on Amazon, and it is a gel. It's a gel remover, but you paint it on. And then layer by layer, it literally just starts to peel off on its own.
That's cool.
So it's much gentler. So my whole thing now is if I do, eventually, I love a gel manicure. Eventually I will be getting them again, but I will be in charge of my own removal.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've learned because my nails have just gotten too damaged. And I honestly think it's not really the manicure itself. It's the
digging.
removal.
I think you're absolutely right. Or if they bubble and then you start picking yourself, because then you're taking layers of nail off. So I would definitely, if you're interested in doing that, probably the best thing is biogel.
I want to try the biogel.
They also call it hard gel in some of the salons. So look for those two things. Those are kind of the buzzwords.
Perfect. Well, thank you. You are a wealth of knowledge.
Anytime you want to ruin your nails, just call me.
Yes. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Beauty Pop. We'll post everything on our Instagram page at Beauty Pop Pod. You can email us, and we are definitely going to do like the mall episode.
I can't wait.
Nostalgic beauty.
We got mall
episode.
And nostalgia, I think.
Yeah.
And then that's when we review Stranger Things, probably, right?
How perfect would that be?
Yeah.
I know, right? I haven't even seen a mall unless it's a show that's set in the 80s. That's the only place you can see them now. But anyway, yeah. So email us at beautypoppod@gmail.com if you want to share your nostalgic beauty stuff. We'll do some polls and everything up on Instagram as well, which I think will be really fun. So thank you guys so much for listening. And also, if you could leave us a rating and review, that really helps our visibility on the Apple charts, which are very what's the word? I don't want to insult Apple. Tough to crack. There you go. Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.